Of a piece by a journalist named Quanele Sasibo, also at the Mail and Guardian, and he wrote a piece about a teenager who was stripped naked and beaten with a hammer by a man who caught her stealing. And the reason that we knew about it was because the man had his son film it. And Quanele wrote the most powerful piece about that incident that I think I've ever read about rape. And yeah, and did it change anything? I don't know. But it certainly told the rape story in a way that I've never seen before.
A few years ago, and still a case today, is regarding HIV and AIDS. In the past, I've covered that area, especially where it comes to the access of antiretroviral treatment. Not only, despite South Africa's ARV rollout program being the largest in the world, there are still many people who still struggle to get their hands on ARV treatment, especially in the rural areas.
So how did your story make a change?
Well, I think that highlighting the issue is one of them, and South Africa's authorities and government is quite reactive to when it comes to especially the mainstream media. So obviously, with highlighting these issues, you gain you get the right of reply from government officials, and whether there's concrete follow up, whether there is concrete reaction, I think that still remains to be seen, because it's an ongoing issue in South Africa, with a vast population of 51 million people, where 1 in 5 South Africans are diagnosed with HIV. So it's still a problem that we are still sitting with, and it's an ongoing follow-up, one could say, making sure that these rollouts happen.
Probably the biggest story of my career as a reporter was when, together with two colleagues, Sam Sol and Stefan Sproma, we revealed the nexus between the then Chief of Police, Jackie Selebi, and elements of the criminal underworld and the business elites, kind of three-legged stool of corruption. Involving the most senior police officer in the country, a corrupt mining magnate, and members of the Johannesburg underworld. And that story ultimately culminated in Jackie Selebi being arrested, convicted, and sent to jail for 15 years.
Wow, so it had a real impact, the story you broke.
Well, I think that, it's possible that he would have been investigated if we hadn't published the story, but we published the story quite a long time before. We began investigating it before the cops did, or before the Scorpions did. And if we hadn't started to publish the story, it's very probable that the investigation would have been shut down. In fact, President Mbeki tried to stop the investigation from going forward. But by that time, we had created so much publicity through our continued publishing of stories around it that it was a matter of major public controversy, and it wasn't possible for political interference to end the investigation.